All right, welcome into episode 6 of Jets Nation Radio. I'm your host, Angus Hout, and to my podcast left, I've got no one. Why? Well, Noah Fuchs, he picked up a new broadcasting job out in Portage La Prairie, so he's off to do bigger and better things, and can't say anything but great things about Noah, and best of luck to you, buddy. And yeah, I hope you crush it out in Portage and go off to do bigger and better things than you could ever expect here at Dauphin. So, um, for myself, I have moved because the place Noah and I were staying in just got too expensive for me to be by myself. So I said, "Screw it, I'll just go move in with my girlfriend," and said yes. So I moved in here. So we don't have the old school fancy couch anymore. We get the brand new teal. I think this is a teal couch. So new sound, new equipment, and you might occasionally see a cat just cruise through in front of the recording. So, but yeah, and I'm sorry that I've been off for the last couple of weeks between Noah moving and just some mental exhaustion. I just needed a few weeks to recover for myself because I was exhausted. And a little bit of burnout was happening, so I decided to take a few weeks off just to get myself back on track. But we should be good for here until the end of the season. Hopefully. Mental health sucks. But let's get into the NHL and more importantly, the Winnipeg Jets for this episode of Jets Nation Radio. It has been a huge week for the NHL and not in the best way. It's been scandal city, especially with the Blackhawk scandal that's going on right now. And yeah, like this is a disgusting scandal on every single level. And the fact that it's taken, 11 years to deal with it is absolutely mind blowing. And I'm just disgusted with the Blackhawks and how they handled that entire situation. Now, that being said, some people might take that as me being anti Shovel-Dayoff. That's not the case. I still really enjoy Shovel-Dayoff, A, as a GM, and B, what he did kind of proved to me that he did the best he could in that awful situation. I had read something this morning that Shovel-Dayoff was the one who said he was at that meeting where they were discussing Kyle Beach and what had allegedly happened to him at the time. So yeah, Shovel-Dayoff said, "Hey, I was there," when no one else said he was there. So good on Chevy for that. I really respect him for that. And again, I think he did the best he could in that situation. It's still sketchy, but I couldn't imagine being the lowest on the totem pole and saying something to anyone about that without the fear of losing my job, my credibility, and the way up into an NHL GM position. So I don't think anyone needs to be ripping on Shovel-Dayoff and demanding his head and saying he should be fired. He's the guy that needs to go, because I don't think so. I think he managed to do what he could do without losing his credibility. Because from what I understand, like he could have easily lost everything he had been working towards for like an awful reason. But like, if it had been 10 years later and the Jets had some other GM that was at the helm and we hear this Shovel-Dayoff guy was the one that broke the news, I don't know. Maybe he doesn't get hired and he just never gets a job in the NHL again and he's forced into European hockey. This is just all speculation, and that's potentially why he didn't say anything to the proper authorities or anything like that. Just, again, lowest on the totem pole. I don't think he had much of a choice, and I don't love the fact he wouldn't have. But if I were to put myself in the same situation, I don't blame him, and I think he just did what the human inside of him would have done. So, yeah, not a great move on Chevy. But the fact that he owned that he was there and was willing to face those consequences from Gary Bettman of being fired, yeah, good guy move on that part. So, I don't know. Don't fire Chevy. Don't quit Chevy. That's what I gotta say. It's an ugly situation. I don't know enough about it to actually make a real, genuine call on anything. It's just, this is my best guess. And if I don't know, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a guy who's got a podcast. So, with this whole thing that's happening with the Blackhawks, just things are not going well down there. You can get yourself a $10 ticket to an NHL game to an Original Six team for $10. You know what else you can get for $10? I think you can still get a Jets dog for $10. I don't know. I haven't been to Canada Life Center since 2017. So if someone wants to get me tickets to a game, I'd really appreciate that. And Seattle Kraken water bottles are selling for $10. So you could either go to Chicago, go watch an NHL game, or you could be in Seattle and get some tasty Seattle water for your $10 water bottle. So things in Chicago aren't great. I know this is Jets Nation Radio, but I really kind of want to focus on the Blackhawks for another couple of moments. And sorry, I totally lost him. Oh yeah, the Blackhawks. They were gonna have a special night honoring Marian Hossa for playing for the Blackhawks for a couple of years and eventually winning the cup with them. That night's been canceled because of this whole thing. Like, I feel bad for the fans who are diehard Chicago Blackhawks fans, and then they get another scoop of bad on their week. Like, could you imagine buying tickets just for the Marian Hossa night and then watching that get canceled because the Blackhawks are that inept? Like, I feel so bad for those fans. And Marian Hossa, he's probably excited to talk about himself and remember the glory days of winning cups. So, yeah, it's just, I don't know. What's going on in Chicago? I don't know. I don't love it, and I really hope things get figured out there. But they can continue to have a terrible season. That's all I care about. If they have the next two seasons just be trash, I think that's, what the hockey gods require right now. And just some trash play. Because to start the season, 0-7? I believe they're 0-7. I don't have my phone in front of me because it's recording, and Noah was my guy. I miss Noah. But to start the season winless, that's brutal. And that brings me to my next question for me, next statement. Are the Winnipeg Jets bad or good, or is the Central Division just that trash? So I was thinking about it the other day. I was looking at the standings. I was like, all right. And then I'd seen something somewhere on the internet where I think it was a tweet, where someone was just like, the Jets just aren't good this year. And I immediately went back to the standings and just checking a bunch of different stats out for the Jets. They're second in the division. They're tied with Minnesota for second and third. The Jets have the slight upper hand on Minnesota. Why? Well, just goals for. That's why. Even though the Wild technically have an extra win on top of that. So I think the Wild have one extra win on the Jets, but the Jets have more goals scored. So through hockey math, it all makes sense that the Jets are the better team. So, and I love that. I love the fact that the Jets are the second best team in the division. We're only 10% of the way through the season, and we can't guarantee anything. I mean, look at the Buffalo Sabres. They're brutal. They started off hot. They got hot in October, and who cares? You can already see the Sabres are just going down the toilet real slow. It's amazing. I feel bad for Buffalo fans because they get to peak in happiness at the end of October and then just crashes hard. I don't see the Sabres going on any further than that, but yeah, we're 10% of the way through the season. Jets are second place, so I know that negates my last point, but I think the Jets can only get better. I think there's just some stutters and just a little bit of fear from them because everyone was hyping them up. They were called Canada's best team in the summer. They're probably going to go the furthest out of the Canadian teams. I know all summer I was writing about it at jetsnation.ca. Go read some of those articles. Or I'm just like, Jets are going to be the best in Canada. Jets are going to be competing for first spot in the Central Division. Still believe that. And we're only 10% of the way through the season. But you look at that and it got me wondering, are the Jets really good or are they bad? What's the dealio? And I think the Jets have finally evened out. I think Connor Hellebuyck finally just got tired. He's just not on the same wavelength that he usually is. He's playing like an above average goalie. He's not playing to that elite level. So he's still playing pretty damn good. Like, I still want him as my starter. But he's not where he once was. And maybe it's just like with the two new guys, Brendan Dillon and Nate Schmidt, like, that, like, their new system is throwing off Hellebuyck. I know Hellebuyck has been seeing a lot of hard shots, and he's been stopping less of the incredibly hard shots. There's an advanced hockey goalie website. I can't remember what it's called, but I was having a look, and like they break things down beautifully. They break down the averages, where the goalie's actually at, and where the goalie averagely is. And Connor Hellebuyck was like, normally he stops like 84% of the high risk shots that are deflected. Now he's down to 60 some odd percent. That's a huge ratio, and it feels like he's seeing more and more of those high quality danger shots. So something needs to happen with the Jets defense, and honestly I think it needs to come down to Paul Maurice. He needs to fix the system. Paul Maurice is running an old school system. It was something you would have seen out of, early 2000s hockey. And we're not in the early 2000s there, Paul. In fact, we're about 15 to 20 years later. It's not looking too good there, pal. And you got to fix up that system because Hellebuyck is looking burnt out. He's just not in that same crazy spot that he normally is. I know I'm going off all over the place and I don't have anyone to wrangle me down. But long and short, the Jets just aren't looking where they should be right now. And so I don't think they're a bad team. I still think they're going to be pushing for a playoff spot come April. Sorry, trying to remember if it was May or April this year. But come April, I think the Jets are going to be pushing for a playoff spot. But they got to figure something out here because it's just nothing's clicking the way it should be. Like offensively, yep, we got Kyle Connor, third in scoring, third in points, third in goals. It's awesome to see. He's actually tied with a bunch of other players. But 7 other players are tied for second in scoring, and a couple of them are pretty hefty names. This guy named Connor McDavid, yeah, Kyle Connor has the same number of goals as him. And same as Anze Kopitar, Andrew Mangiapane, and Elias Lindholm. Like, this dude actually played in the AHL for, 2 seasons, and now he's up there with McDavid, Chris Kreider, Lindholm, Kopitar, and Mangiapane. Like, if anyone tells you Kyle Connor isn't good, they obviously don't watch the Jets. I love watching Kyle Connor, and Nick Ehlers, he's just starting to get back into his groove. I love watching that, and it's weird. He's kind of Ehlers has disappeared kind of into the background, but he's still doing so much. It's awesome watching that explosive play because everyone's expecting Ehlers to do his magic, but no, it's all Kyle Connor just quietly picking up on that. Wow, it's so easy to go on tangents here. This is why I'm not working for TSN yet because I can't stay on one topic here. But yeah, no, like honestly, back to my question that we're going on here. Do I think the Jets are good, or is the Central Division just that bad? I think it's both. The Jets are a slightly above average team playing slightly below average for some reason or another. It's just coming down to defense and ultimately goaltending. And I'm still not going to throw a hat at Connor Hellebuyck for being the reason why the Jets are bad this year. I still think it's Paul Maurice and his defensive system that is trash. So yeah, and I ranted a little bit about that on my last article over at jetsnation.ca. You should definitely take a look at that one because I just said, like, yeah, the Jets are relying too much on fancy passing, open lanes for shooting, and then Connor Hellebuck. If Connor Hellebuck goes down, or he's playing at the level he's currently playing at, it's going to be an ugly season for the Jets, and an even uglier playoff scenario for the Jets. So, yeah, that's where I'm at right now. So the Jets, above average team playing below average because of a bad coach. There, broke it down for everyone. Wow, that was already quick. Already almost done here. But yeah, no, I guess I half mentioned it. Kyle Connor, third in the league for scoring. Did you see this coming? I know I didn't. I was expecting Mark Scheifele to be up there a point or two behind McDavid, but there's Kyle Connor, KFC, the Ginge. The Ginge is amazing. You can't not love the guy. And just like that big goofy smile and the fact that he looks like he just is unexcited all the time. And it's too, like, if you don't follow the Jets Instagram page, you gotta follow it just for Kyle Connor. And like, you know, everyone's supposed to wear their suits, look all happy and dandy for pre-game. And Kyle Connor's always just got his little toque on. They were down in LA, still got his toque on. I love that out of Kyle Connor. Dudes with toques, why not? Should be more guys with toques on out there. Yeah, so Kyle Connor, third in the league, or tied for third in the... He is third in the league for all points, and then in second place for goals scored. So right now, Kyle Connor is currently on pace for like 70 goals. I don't think he's going to hit 70, but I want to see him push for 50 goals. I think he's going to push for 50 goals, but realistically, probably going to be about 43 goals by the end of the season for Kyle Connor. So best of luck. I really hope he proves me wrong and actually puts up 50. And the degent in me, he threw down an extra he found a bet for $10 to get Kyle Connor above 40 goals. That's going to be easy money because Kyle Connor, he's hot tamale right now. But yeah, if I could find a bet for Kyle Connor to hit 50 goals, I'll be taking that. It's a risky business, but I think that would be just brilliant. So yeah, I guess I'll hop into hot and cold performers and also give you my predictions for the week on how well the Jets actually do. Trying to do this the best that I can, but I didn't open everything because I'm a big goof. I'm so sorry. Okay, but let's just hop into hot and cold performers. I do want to say my hot performer is Kyle Beach for coming out and saying and calling out this garbage, horrendous garbage. Yeah, you're a brave individual, sir, and yeah, good luck healing. I don't know what it's like to go through any of that, but best of luck, and I hope things are taken care of in the best possible way for you. So yeah, Kyle Beach, you're a hot performer this week for me. And my cold performer goes to my new neighbors. I rolled in from my shift last night at about 11:30 and was pulling in and noticed my neighbors already had their Christmas lights up. 11:33 last night. And it's like, guys, just wait until Remembrance Day is over. Like, I don't care if you have your tree up or whatever, but your outdoor decorations, come on. Like, the lights outside, no big deal. But when you got like the full-on decorations and Halloween isn't even technically over, not a big fan of you. So those guys are my cold performers for the week. All right, and then before I head on out, Jets have 3 games this week. They are going to be playing the Dallas Stars on Tuesday night, or tomorrow for me right now, at 7 o'clock. And then the Jets are going to be taking on the Blackhawks and Islanders, and that's going to open up the 7-game home stretch. So I think the Jets are going to go... I think they're only going to win one of these games. They're going to beat the Blackhawks. Not because Blackhawks, I don't know. The Blackhawks are a bad team, and I just want to see them lose all the time this season just for that garbage. Even though Patty Kane is on my fantasy team, he could put up 0 points, and I wouldn't even be mad about that. The Islanders, I think they got to be hitting it eventually. They're gonna start winning more games and be the elite team that we're expecting them to be. They are missing Jordan Eberle, and I think they lost a couple other pieces last summer, so they're not as good as they should be. But Barry Trotz, phenomenal coach, and I think he's just gonna turn it on. He'll probably be the guy to bring the Islanders back to glory. Screw it. No, Jets are going for 2 wins this week. They're going to beat Dallas tomorrow. Dallas isn't as good, and this is a division game. I know it's early in the season, but the Jets need it. So, Jets win tomorrow. Jets win Friday. Islanders, they lose, unfortunately, during hockey night in Canada. So that's it, and that's all for me. Thanks for hanging out for the last 21 minutes. Sorry this was a little bit off the rails and all over the place, and I just went on tangents, but I'll find a co-host that can keep me down and level. And until then, I'm going to head out. Be safe and be well, my friends, and I will catch you again next week. Make sure to leave a review, leave a comment. If you got a question for me, feel free to slide into those DMs. You can find me on Instagram or Twitter at Angus Hout, and I'll answer your questions for you through DMs and then on the podcast. So, yeah, and if you just want to shoot me a follow, because sometimes I post funny things, well, you can do that too. And make sure to follow us at Jets Nation on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I do the memes over on Instagram. Sometimes they're funny. All right, be safe and be well, my friends.